Hey, it's me, Vicki Marie, and good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, depending on where you are in this crazy world we're living in. So, in today's video, it's Sunday. Happy Sunday. We're going to talk about Jack O'Sullivan. We've talked about Jack a few times. I'm going to keep on talking about Jack. Every now and again, we're going to remind ourselves that Jack is still missing. His family are going through absolute hell. His poor mother, Kathy. And what we're going to do today is we're going to look at, in a previous video about Jack, which I've linked in the description box, we showed on the Facebook page, Find Jack O'Sullivan, or Find Jack. We showed Jack's mum, Kathy, did a reconstruction of his last walk. Jack disappeared in Bristol in the UK after a night out at a friend's house party. Decided to go home, said he was going to try and get a taxi, and disappeared off the face of the earth. But of course, we know that people don't disappear off the face of the earth. Jack is somewhere. He is definitely somewhere, but where is he? Anyway, so that's what we're going to look at tonight. We're going to look at some things that his mum, Catherine, has had to say. I just get the feeling, the tone of her post. She feels like she's at the end of her tether, and I don't blame her. After 7 months, no answers. What happened to Jack O'Sullivan? Let's chat. Okay, so yeah, this is Jack, 22, I believe he was. I think he may be 23 now, because I think he's had a birthday since he's gone missing, but we'll check that in a moment. I'm not 100% certain about that. So before we start talking about Jack, I just want to say thank you, as always. I've had quite a lot of new subscribers lately. Thank you so much. I've passed I think it's 3,700 mark. I'm heading for, or hoping for, to get to 4,000 by Christmas. So thank you so much if you're already subscribed. If you're not already subscribed, please consider subscribing. It's completely free. It's a completely free way you can help support my channel. Same as liking the videos. Don't forget to leave your fingerprint on the like button. That again is completely free, and it just all helps for the algorithm. Now, in these missing person cases, I also would like you to share, if you don't mind. I don't normally ask for that in normal videos that I do, true crime videos that I do, but I think it's really important when I'm talking about missing person cases, because although Jack went missing from Bristol, you know, his mum, everyone, you know, he could be anywhere really, because we don't know if he was taken away from Bristol, if he went away, you know, left of his own accord from Bristol for whatever reason. So, you know, we can't presume that the answers all lie in Bristol. It's likely that they do, because normally missing people are found locally, but it's not, you know, it wouldn't be the first time that it hadn't been the case. So it's important to share, raise awareness that Jack is missing. Now, of course, there are lots of missing person cases, and, you know, I try and deal with as many as I can. There's a limit to how many you can deal with, of course. But with Jack, I think, you know, because I've been covering it for quite a while and it's gone on so long for his family. I just hope it doesn't turn into one of those cases that never gets an answer. Surely there's an answer out there somewhere, even if it's the worst case scenario, you know, that Jack is no longer with us on this planet, that something has happened to him. The most important thing for Jack's family are answers, one way or another. You know, the hope is that Jack is safe and well somewhere. But if that can't be possible, then at least that they get some answers, isn't it? So I also want to thank those of you who go that extra mile to support my channel, those of you who become members, those of you who gift memberships, those of you who have bought me Ko-fis. I've been bought quite a few Ko-fis lately as well. Thank you so much. And those of you who send super stickers or PayPal me, etc. Thank you so much. So, of course, all the dogs are going to start barking now because I've started a live. And what else? Thank you for those of you who email me, send me details of cases or things that you think I'll find interesting. Leave nice messages, all those extra things that you do to support my channel, and it all helps to make it feel worthwhile to me, you know, because reporting on true crime, sometimes you do get a bit sort of disillusioned, a bit depressed by it all. But you know, when people send me supportive messages, etc., it just makes me feel like it's all worth it. So thank you so much for that. Okay, let's take my banner off. Hi, Angel. So I'm just going to say hello. There's Angel and Matthew in the chat at the moment. Thanks for being here. Thank you to those of you who are watching at home. I know not everybody likes to be in the chat. Some people just like to watch. And also hello to those of you who are watching on Replay Crew. Thank you. Okay, so where we're going to start with this update. I mean, it's an update, but it's not an update. You know, there is no update really in the sense of Jack has not been found. As far as I know, there's not been any mega new developments. But one development has been that the phone company have released the data of Jack's phone to his family. So the police were hanging on to that data and they weren't sharing it with the family. And I think in the last video that I did when I showed the interview with Sonia Paulson, who very kindly let me show her interview, Kathy, Jack's mom, was saying that they'd asked the phone company to give them details of Jack's last phone data, and in the end, the phone company have given them that information. Now, up to now, it hasn't made any difference to them finding out anything else, but maybe it's still being analysed. You know, don't know what stage it's at. But the good news is at least they have released it. So that'll have put Kathy's mind at rest that now she has, because the thing is, Kathy, Jack's mum, now she doesn't have a lot of faith in the police, because in the beginning, the police missed some CCTV. She feels that they didn't investigate Jack's disappearance properly. And there's a lot of things that Kathy has had to do herself, you know, and her helpers, of course, people that are supporting her. So having that phone data now, I hope that they can find something else out from it. But as far as I know, up to now, there hasn't been anything in particular that has come out from it. So we're going to have a look at the Facebook page, the Find Jack Facebook page, because that's where I get all my information from. You know, that's the official Facebook page to Find Jack. Let's see where we are. So now there's a reward for information that leads to the finding of Jack. I think it's £20,000 reward for key information on the disappearance of Jack O'Sullivan, who was last seen in Hotwells in Bristol on March the 2nd. We're now on the 20th of October. So that's many, many months that Jack's family have, been in torture, really, been in absolute hell. Now, what's I think a bit worrying, and a couple of the posts that Jack's mum has made, is there has been an uptick in media attention, which is great. But unfortunately, so far, it doesn't seem to have led to any extra leads. And I do think that must be quite depressing. So this is Catherine. This is Jack's mum. And look at this post. I mean, it's just so stark. Please help us find our son Jack. Someone knows something. Pass on any information that will help us find him. Thank you. Now, does somebody know something? Has it been whatever's happened to Jack? It's a possibility. This is what the police believe, is that he's fallen into the river. They definitely believe that, but he hasn't been found. None of his possessions have been found, but that is definitely what the police think. Now, they have searched the river. They've had sonar down there, but nothing's come up so far. So anyway, so this is one of the last comments that Catherine made. Jack was last seen at 3:40 a.m. It keeps being reported at 3:15 a.m. because the police continue to ignore the last sighting because they missed it. I appreciate it's only 25 minutes out, but a lot can happen in that time. And I think she's right. I mean, it's important, isn't it, that we have, the correct information. So again, she's reacted to that because on this article by Bristol Live, they've again said Jack 23 vanished after being last seen at 3:15. And she is adamant. She has seen CCTV from 3:40. So that is the last sighting. And these things, they are important. So this was 3 hours ago, this comment. So let's just have a look at this article with Bristol Live. It will give us an update for those of you who maybe don't know the circumstances. So where's the article then? Here, let's have a look. So Mum says, I've had no support in search for her son. Let's have a read of it. Where's it gone? So Mum says, I've had no support in search for my son missing since March. She's not happy. Why won't this go? No thanks. No thanks. I don't want your notifications. God. She only receives email now. I think they share an email once a week. That's the only support or contact she's getting with the police at the moment. Don't know why this isn't clicking off. Anyway, never mind. So the mum of missing Jack O'Sullivan says the family's had no support from the authorities that should be helping find him. Catherine O'Sullivan says she will not give up until she gets an answer to what happened to the Bristol student. Well, that's it. How can she give up? She's not going to give up, is she? She wants an answer. She's not letting me turn it off. So he was last, they're saying 3:15. She says it was later. On the Saturday, the March the 2nd, in the area of Brunel Lock Road, Brunel Way in Bristol. and the family have previously criticised the police for their investigations into Jack's disappearance. So I know that Catherine feels like she's had to do most of the work herself. Oh, and this is what we're going to actually, instead of reading it there, we'll read it on the Facebook. So she's posted on Facebook that this time last year, Jack was running a marathon. Let's have a look. God, nothing's working properly for me today. It's just all going weird. Anyway, never mind. Let's see. Yeah, we'll read it off Facebook rather than off there. Where is it? Why is it not going off that? Hang on. See all. Yeah. I don't want to see all that. Just want the posts. Okay. Here it is. So, this time last year, Jack was preparing to run the Bath Half Marathon in memory of his great friend Adam. I sit here tonight in total disbelief to think Jack is not here with us and nobody on earth seems to know where he is. Where is he? If anyone out there knows what happened to Jack on the night of the 2nd of March or where he is now, please let us or someone else know. Any information, however small, may help us in our quest to find him. I appreciate for some time now this is now becoming a little boring. It's not boring, Kathy. It's not boring. Do you know, it's just for these missing persons cases, as far as I'm concerned, you know, when I post about missing persons, you feel like you don't want to keep just going over the same thing over and again. It's the same with Victoria Taylor, who's missing in Malton. There's been no news about her. Her family don't want sort of TikTok videos and this, that, and the other doing. So you've got to be very careful, because I don't want to offend either by, you know, making posts. But I will stick with Jack's case every week or so, or if there's any update at all, doing a video. But you know, it's not boring. It's just that sometimes you don't want to feel that you're just rehashing the same thing, because then people don't take as much notice of it. So it's important that every now and again we remember that Jack is missing. We have a little we talk about it again, and you just never know. I mean, I'm getting new subscribers all the time. So, you know, every week I get at least 5-10 new subscribers, maybe more. So one of those new subscribers might just be somebody who knows something. Anyway, I appreciate for some this is now becoming a little boring. I get told just accept it. Jack is gone and you need to move on. Who would say that to a mother? How could, you know, all I would say, anyone who says to you, Catherine, I mean, she's probably not watching this, but if she is, anyone who says to you, just accept it, Jack has gone and you need to move on. Well, you're never going to do that. Most sane thinking people would know that you're not going to just accept it and move on. You're going to keep looking for Jack forever if you have to. Hopefully it won't come to that. Really, what mother on this earth would ever consider giving up on her child? Of course you wouldn't. Of course you wouldn't. Doesn't matter how old he is. This is what we've been talking about a lot lately. You know, I did the case of Grace Mullane, and she was 22 and went sort of traveling. And, you know, your children are always your children. They could be 2, they could be 12, they could be 22, 42, 62, if you're lucky enough to still be alive to see them get to that age. They're always your children. Doesn't make any difference how old they are. So Jack is one of the most important things in my life, and I will not give up until I get an answer. I don't blame you. Why should you? We have no support from the authorities that should be helping, so it's totally down to our family, our friends, and the public to keep up the fight. Please, please continue to share our plea of help to find Jack. Many thanks, and Catherine and all at Team Jack. So if you do have any information, this is where you need to send it to findjack23@gmail.com. So yeah, just this time last year, there was Jack running a half marathon in memory of his friend. And now where is he? And as this person says, no mother could give up. Keep posting unapologetically. You don't have to apologize for worrying where your son is, because he's somewhere. You know, he hasn't been beamed up to the Starship Enterprise. You know, he's somewhere. And even if he unfortunately is not with us anymore, hi Heather, in the sense of maybe if he's passed on, you know, and something happened, he's still somewhere. You know, he's not just literally disappeared. Okay. Oh, again, from Catherine. Please keep our appeal going. Someone knows something. Please tell someone. Pass any information on. I feel like Catherine feels like somebody does know something. Did he come, you know, did he come to, I mean, he definitely left that house that he was at the party, but there's some talk about there might have been an altercation, but he definitely left because he was seen on CCTV. But did he return to the house, or does somebody know something more? They say he might have banged his head, fell downstairs. Was he disorientated? Did he get lost? Did he fall in the water? Maybe the police are right and he has fallen in the water, but he still needs to be found. This mother still needs to know what's happened to him. Please help, she said. I am a desperate mother who has lost her child. I have shared every recent photo possible of Jack, which I find so incredibly hard. This is my boy, and I'm sharing his face with the world as I really need someone to help find him. Please look at the information associated with Find Jack to try and shed some light on our continuing hell. Where is he? Someone knows where he went on that night. It's impossible for someone not to have seen him. I can see vehicles driving past him. If you have any information, please do the right thing and tell someone. We need the help of the public, as the police really don't care. It's down to us to find him. Thank you for your continued support. Now, I don't think that the police don't care personally, but, you know, they have a lot of missing people to look for. That's the cold, hard reality of it. You know, as much as Jack is important to Catherine, all the missing people are important to their families. So the police are probably thinking, well, you know, they tried to look for him, they didn't find him. What can I say? So it is up to the family in a way to keep Jack in the public eye. His disappearance. Oh, here's Riley. Hello, baby. To keep Jack's disappearance in the public eye, unfortunately, it sort of does seem to, you know, onto the family. Enjoy your wine, Heather. Cheers. Salud. I'm going to have some wine after I finish this, or I may break off in a minute and open a bottle of wine. It is Sunday after all. Okay, so what we're going to look at tonight, in the last video that I did about Jack, I shared Kathy, Jack's mum, retraced his steps. The last known walk of Jack. You know, we don't know if it was his last walk, because he may have walked again after that. He could be out there somewhere, couldn't he? And we looked at the first 4 short. What they did was they did one long video of his last walk, and they divided it into 6 smaller videos, and we looked at 4 of them, and we're going to look at the next 2 in this video. So let's see. So let's look for part 5. So we need part 5, don't we? Yeah, so this is part 5 of the video series. This talks a little about the phone and the data usage. Note the following. This predates the E, that's the phone data discussion. Our digital forensics company and EE are working through the data delivery at the moment. A post is imminent with confirmation. Everything about the phone that we know is already out there, so please do make sure you have a good read through before asking questions, as it saves on repetitions. Okay, so let's have a look. Video 5.
And it is just a slip road that takes you to Clifton when he's walking up this. What we know is that at 3:24 he made a call which to the girl that was at the party, and that would completely fit with him being up on the bridge. At 3:35 she called him back in this area, we believe at this exact spot in fact, and he answered the phone and he said hello, even though the call remained open for another 58 seconds. The person that was on the other end of that phone didn't hear any noise in the background. She continued to speak, but Jack didn't answer.
Yeah, so remember, we've talked about that before. He had tried to ring a friend at the party, a female friend. She didn't pick up. She probably didn't hear the call at the time. Then she rang him back. He or someone answered the phone and said hello, and then that was it. And that is the last, thing we know. So I just want to say hello to those of you that are watching, not joining in the chat, and hello to Replay Crew. And most of all, I want to say thank you so much for caring about Jack and his family, for caring enough to watch.
He had just said hello. This is the area, this is the stretch of road that leads off the Plimsoll Bridge and heads down on and joins the causeway. It's called Bennett Way, and it is, it's just the traffic is moving in one direction, just going down there. And it is just a slip road that takes you to Clifton when he's walking up this section of the road. And it looks a very consistent walk, and also he doesn't look like he's come off the path. He's just continued on, and the footage is from the camera, which is over there at the traffic lights, and that's the camera that's picked him up. But obviously, when we get to the top, it's what we don't know is what would have happened next. Now, I can't see how somebody hasn't spotted him, because you're on that corner. It is fairly well lit, and we.
Now, I just want to say, obviously, this is not at the time that Jack was there at 3 o'clock in the morning, or 3:45, or whatever time. So, there's a lot of cars going past it. Won't have been quite as busy as that. But looking at the CCTV, there were quite a few cars going past, even though it was the early hours of the morning. So you would think that somebody might have seen him.
No, that there's so much traffic, even at that time in the morning. So whether he's gone back down into Hotwells, whether he's trying to cross over that, which would have been 2 lanes of fast-moving traffic, or gone back on himself in the direction that he started, which we really don't believe to be the case, because we've got the footage of the bridge, then it's impossible for someone not to have driven past it. So, I think my plea is, if if you've seen him, it is so important for us to know what direction he was going in, because it could potentially change everything for us. You know, it's my belief is that he's continued down into Hotwells, and
No, there's somebody coming walking up here. You know, it's a funny place to walk, isn't it? You know, it's not like it doesn't look like a place where it'd be comfortable to walk along. I've forgotten what it's like to live in a city centre, and I expect I've walked in lots of places like that in Manchester town centre when I was young. I was always walking home and, you know, just deciding to go home all of a sudden and, you know, doing daft things like that. I've done it a million times, so I'm sure I have done it in places like that. I just feel, you know, my heart just bleeds for Catherine, because I really do. I have felt recently, I didn't feel it in the beginning when I was watching her being interviewed, etc. I felt that she really, you know, was focused, and she really felt that there was hope. But recently, I have got this sort of vibe from Catherine that she's losing hope. It's very sad, because, and as I say, not only losing hope that Jack might still be alive and nothing as untoward has happened to him, but almost even losing hope that she will ever know. And that just breaks my heart for her, because, as I say, what could be worse than that, from never knowing what's happened to your child? You know, it's bad enough, be them an adult, it's bad enough, you know, finding out something terrible's happened to them, but the thought of not ever knowing what happened to them, just can't imagine. But I do get that feeling now from Catherine. I hope that's not true. I hope maybe something will come up and she'll get renewed hope again. Maybe, but it just felt, maybe it's the anniversary of the marathon. Maybe, I don't know what it is, but I just get this feeling that she has lost a little bit of hope. Bless her.
if he'd stayed on this path, that's probably the safest thing to have done. My belief is that he had attempted to start a journey home, but because there was no option for somebody to stop, for a car, taxi to pull in, then I think he would have gone back to what he knew, which was quite normal for Jack to take a taxi from Hotwells. So, again, what we do know after the phone calls, that the phone had various activity, a data usage at 4:39, which is another hour beyond when he's seen at this point, and then at 5:40, his phone location was suggesting that he was 2 or 3 roads away from here, up a hill, and on Granby Hill, at an address. Now,
sorry, I'm not sure that is that Jack's dad. I'm not sure who this guy is in the background, but yeah. What I was going to say, it's like, I hope she isn't losing hope. I hope she isn't. But do you know, I think in this sort of scenario, you'd always have to feel that you were doing something, wouldn't you? Or that's how I'd feel anyway. You know, out there looking, or, you know, going on these different shows and things and talking about Jack. And she's been on most, you know, she's been on the BBC, she's been on Crime Watch, she's been on Good Morning Britain, as I say, on the Sonia Paulson show. Or, you know, she's had a lot of, there was a definite uptick in media attention in most of the papers, etc. And that is all good. But then I think when you've gone through all that and done all that and still don't know anything, she must be a bit crestfallen, because I think you would hope every time you appeared on one of these sort of programs, especially the high profile programs like BBC and Good Morning Britain, etc., you can't really have any more attention than that, can you? More media attention than that. And when that doesn't result in any leads, it must be very, very disappointing.
Obviously, we're told that that was approximate, but I don't understand if you're at an approximate location why you get a house number and a street name, and that's a question that we haven't been able to have answered.
So that was part 5. Now we're going to look at the final part, which is part 6, which I've got up here somewhere. I think so, yeah. So this is part 6 and the final part of the video series that Catherine did earlier this year. A couple of things to note, according to Jane, who's like one of the administrators on the site. We know the traffic noise isn't great, so apologies in advance. Kath mentions the phone usage. Now we have the data, we may be able to get some clarity on this. We don't know yet, is probably the answer you may want to ask. Please do also take the time to read about the phone. Loads of info on about where we are with it on here. We have also appealed consistently and loudly for CCTV ring dash cam footage, as well as commenting on CCTV cameras in general. So please check out previous posts and comments. I know we keep saying thank you, but we really do mean thank you. The kindness and empathy shown by the people on this group is overwhelming at times. Please share this page. We can't stress enough how important it is that we keep spreading the word. So any of you, if you're on Facebook, you go on Facebook, the page is called Find Jack. So if you want to go and join it, share it, I think they would appreciate it. Okay, let me go back to the beginning of this.
He's walked up this stretch and we know he's on this side of the road. So, yeah, my thought is that to cross over, he's walked up this stretch and we know he's on this side of the road. So, yeah, my thought is that to cross over would have been quite a gamble, because you've got traffic that flies round this bend, and if you continue down this way, you've got a footpath that would take you all the way pretty much back to where you started. But the unfortunate thing is, once you get to those lights, there is no CCTV coverage at all. See that camera that's on those lights there? We're told that that hasn't given any footage. Now, again, it's another query for me, because why would that not be on? But then the camera that's on the other lights here is working. Back on the first.
Now, Catherine has had to go back and find her own CCTV footage. Having said that, we always have to keep in mind that maybe the police do have more information that they're not prepared to discuss at the moment, because it is an ongoing investigation. There's talk of a car hanging around. We do not know everything that the police know, maybe it's because there's more to it than we know, and they could then, in that case, they cannot even share it even with the family, can they? So we always have to bear that in mind. But it always seems like a bit sad that Catherine's having to do her own investigations. But there could be a reason for that. We just have to keep that at the back of our minds.
2nd of March, the trees were completely bare. They hadn't come into leaf, and we had a much clearer image of Jack walking from just above where that sign says "It's all love." just above there, we see him come into shot, and then we see him walking to the stretch, which probably finishes at the last set of pillars.
There he is.
But
you know, that's haunting, isn't it, at the end of the day? So I know that CCTV has helped in investigations, but it also it's just it's haunting, isn't it? When you see that, there's Jack. Where did he go after that? You know, how did he just disappear into thin air? You know, it's, I expect, well, I know I would be, and I expect Catherine does the same. You'd be just sat watching it, wouldn't you? Just to see your son as well. You know, just to see him. Bless him, when he was alive and walking, because you don't know sort of where he is now. You just keep watching it and hoping for some inspiration. And I expect every day Catherine wakes up and hopes that today will be the day that she gets some news. And every day that goes past, 7 months now, it gets harder and harder. But having said that, you know, tomorrow could be the day.
But then obviously at that point is when he goes off camera. There's also a section of ring doorbells on some of these houses, but they've drawn a blank, and unfortunately I haven't been able to view them because the footage that was available wasn't retained.
Oh.
So it hasn't stored. During the time that, you know, since the last known phone call, no other phone calls were made. You know, that phone was not used to make any phone calls. There was data usage, and we are still trying to find out what that data usage was, but it wasn't a phone call.
So what does that mean? So there was data usage, and we're trying to find out what that data usage was, which hopefully there will, but it wasn't a phone call. So what might it be? Him on Google or somebody else using the phone, but not a phone call. But there was some data usage. So this is what we don't know, because none of his items have been found either. None of the things that he had with him or the clothes he was wearing have been found. And there you go. There's a simple and stark message. Please help us find Jack. So let's just have another look at the website. Because I know a lot of you, if you've been watching my videos on Jack, you will have seen this before. But as I say, you know, every week, maybe 20 new subscribers that are coming on that haven't, if they watch this video, haven't seen this website, maybe. Oh, his little face, bless him. So he's 22 at the time of disappearance. He's 5'10" tall, slim, brown, short hair, blue eyes. Missing since the 2nd of March. £20,000 reward. It's now over 100 days, well, probably a lot more than that now, since Jack O'Sullivan went missing on March the 2nd, 2024, following a night out in Hotwells in Bristol. Jack, having attempted to get a taxi home, was last seen on CCTV on the morning of March the 2nd at approximately 3:40. So they've put the correct time on the website. Walking up the Bennett Way slip road heading back towards Hotwells. His phone was still active and placed him at an address at 5:40 a.m. in the Granby Hill area. And his phone continued to be live on the network until 6:40 a.m. I think this is very important, isn't it? Because if Jack would have gone into the water, you know, as the police seem to think that he did, maybe fell in the water, because most young people that are seen walking by rivers end up in the water. Would his phone still have worked? Surely his phone would not have worked. but his phone continued, and the police have confirmed that his phone continued to be live on the network until 6:44. But nothing has been seen or heard of him since the early hours of that morning. Now, was he mugged? So, despite the authorities' efforts, the investigation has hit a standstill, leaving the family desperate for answers. Now, this is what he was wearing. So, he was quite, these are expensive clothes he was wearing. Everything he had on was quite sort of expensive. A green khaki Barber jacket, brown Ralph Lauren trainers, navy blue chinos, a cream knit lamb's wool jumper. And these are the items he had on his person when he went missing. Representative images. A black card, so not the actual items, these are representations. A black card holder, his driving license, a Peugeot 108 key fob, an air tag in a brown case, a Monzo debit card, an Armani watch, and a black iPhone in a red silicone case. So, somebody might have thought he was worth mugging. And his house key. So all those items were with him, but none of them have yet been found. Now, that could be because he went in the water and all these things were in his pocket. So, that's always possible, isn't it? So at 1 o'clock in the morning, he messaged his parents with plans to get a taxi. 3:17 a.m. was the last confirmed sighting of Jack. 3:24, he attempted to call a friend who was still at the party. Now it's saying there it was the last confirmed sighting of Jack. Where does it say that? But then he was seen on at 3:40, so they haven't changed that. So that wasn't the last confirmed sighting of Jack on CCTV, because at 3:40 he was also seen on CCTV. 3:25, likely sighting of Jack on the Plimsoll Bridge. 3:30, friend called back, but the call was disconnected after Jack said hello. 3:39, Jack seen walking along Bennett Way. 3:40, seen on CCTV walking up Bennett Way. And then 5 a.m, Jack's parents noticed he wasn't home. 5:40, Jack's phone placed him at an address in the Granby Hill area. 6:44, Jack's phone remained active on the network until this time. And here on the website, you've got his movements. If you're from that area, I feel like I know this area now because I've seen this so many times. But I don't know, in real life, I don't know Bristol. I've never been to Bristol. The thing that I have to say, and I say it every time, that does concern me, there's a lot of water. A lot of water, isn't there? So, it's worrying. And these are the CCTV sightings of him. So much water, But you would have thought by now, if Jack had gone into the water all these months later, surely you would have thought there'd be some evidence of that. Now, on the pictures that you see of him walking, to me, he looks like he's had quite a lot to drink. But, I don't know, maybe he's got a distinctive walk, but you see his arms seem to be out and he seems to be staggering a little bit, or maybe that's just my impression. Anyway, yeah, they're still asking for any vehicle dash cam footage. Check through your dash cam if you were in that area. There's been posters and flyers been distributed all over. I do think there's much more awareness of Jack now, but unfortunately that does feel like what's the word? The fact that all this awareness now And still nothing, still no news is a bit worrying, isn't it? So yeah, he may have been writing texts, WhatsApp messages. We don't WhatsApp messages. I mean, I don't know, maybe somebody will know. So if I was writing WhatsApp messages and my phone disappeared and nobody could find my phone, but would they still be able to find my messages in the cloud? Or is the fact that you can't find the phone mean that you can't get the messages? Do you need the phone, is my question. To get, I know they can get up texts even, that have been deleted. We know that. But what if they have it? Is that only when you've got the phone, or are these things on the cloud? Whereas in which case then the police will have any messages that were sent on that phone, won't they? Or do you need the actual phone to find them? I don't know. Anyway, all we can hope is maybe some information will come up. Misty, I think that party is a bit strange. You do feel, I mean, you definitely left the party because he was seen on the CCTV, but it makes you wonder, did he go back to there? And what is this address in Hotwells that the mum traced the phone back to? It just wonders. You just wonder, don't you? Did they interview her? Let's see if I can find anything. Yeah, there's this funny thing. Right, let's have a look. There's a couple of articles here. Let's have a look at the Daily Mail. I know the Daily Mail, but they have good articles on things like this. They normally seem to get inside stuff, don't they? So, inside the house party Jack O'Sullivan went to on the night he disappeared, student wanted to make friends. So, remember his mum said that these were quite new friends. So she encouraged him to go. Well, you know what students are like when they're out at a party and drunk. They don't worry about each other. We saw that with Riley Strain. They're just out there having a good time. They're not, I don't know. So apparently he wanted to make friends, but he had an altercation with a stranger and fell down the stairs before going missing. So Catherine O'Sullivan, whose 23-year-old son Jack vanished after a party in the Hotwells area of Bristol, has been forced to hire a private investigator to find out more crucial details about the student's mystery disappearance. Jack was unsure about going to the party because he barely knew anyone there, but his mother had encouraged him to go and meet new people as his friends from home had moved away. He took the bus from his house in Flaxburton to Bristol city centre to have drinks with 3 of his university friends at Wetherspoons before all 4, 2 boys and 2 girls, ventured to a house party hosted by a girl on his law conversion course. The University of Exeter graduate, who had moved back to Bristol for the law course, stuck with his group at the party on Hotwell Road. But at one point he tumbled down the stairs and hit his head. And when a random partygoer joked about him having too much to drink, Jack shoved him in a brief clash, but this did not go further. Now, Jack's mum said that wasn't like him. He wasn't aggressive, but you know, she is his mum. I mean, you know, at the end of the day, you'd always stick up for your son. But you know, everyone can be a little bit aggressive, I suppose, if they've had too much to drink. So he texted his mum at 1:52 to say he was safe and planned to get a taxi. And she would have gone to get him, you know, as would I. I would, you know, you do that. I mean, lately my son started going out a lot, which is great since the fiestas in one way. But of course, you know, he'd been through a phase where he hadn't been out that much, so I hadn't had to sort of worry about where he was going and what he was doing. And he's old enough to look after himself now anyway, but still you just can't help it. And so now I'm at this point where but the good thing is my son doesn't drive, but a lot of his friends do, so I'm not having to be the taxi now because he's going, oh, such and such is taking me, or you know, blah de blah, he's picking me up, or so it's great because I don't. But I mean, I would if I had to. If he phoned me at 2, 3, 4, 5 in the morning and said, can you come and pick me up because, you know, I want to go home and my friends aren't ready, or I've got separated from my friends. Of course I'd go. And I'm sure that Catherine would have gone. If he would have said to her, no, if he would have said, oh, can you come and get me because I can't get a taxi or whatever, she would have gone and got him. Anyway, he texted his mum at 1:52 to say he was safe and planned to get a taxi, and left the party an hour later. Now, that in itself could be suspicious because someone sends a text, you don't know if it's the person themselves. But he was seen on CCTV, so we know he left the party. He did leave, but did he go back? I don't know. Anyway, apparently he left the party an hour later without saying goodbye to his female friend who was having a cigarette outside, and he never returned home, and he's been missing for over 6 months. So she said it's been really sketchy, the details of what happened. You see all the family together. That's Jack's brother, his dad, and Catherine. Proud day when he graduated. Well, let's have a look at the video. There are a lot of cars going past, aren't there? Look at all those cars. Loads of cars. Have they come forward, these people? You know, and you would think you would notice him because there's not anybody else around. And especially if he was staggering. Oh, this is something else. This is something. This is another. This is not to do with it. Yeah, you would think that one of those cars going past would have noticed him because there was hardly anybody else around. So I immediately asked that. This is what Catherine said. I immediately asked the police if they had spoken to people, and they said, oh yes, we've spoken to people at the party, but we have had conflicting reports. The girl at the party who was on the phone to him at 3:24 said that Jack got into an altercation with someone as he was leaving the party, but the police say it was nothing and they haven't got any knowledge of that being any form of concern. We've tried to look at that ourselves with a private detective, and he questioned some of the people. The interview with the boy that Jack had the description of an altercation with, his very descriptive interview, says he was standing at the bottom of the stairs as Jack was leaving. Jack tripped on the stairs and he laughed at him and said, you've had enough, mate, that sort of thing. As Jack got up, he pushed him, and that was the extent of the altercation. It was described as an altercation. Obviously, we're not there, so we have no idea. But what this chap went on to say was that Jack hit his head when he fell down the stairs. Now, that might be relevant because he may have had a little bit of concussion. I went immediately back to the police with that and said, you've never mentioned anything of this sort. Can we look at the statements of the people at the party again? But it was a slight fob off is the way I describe it, because police read out some lines from their books. However, I don't believe they were official statements. They said, we've got nothing of the sort reported to us. We just can't get to the bottom of anything. When I recently asked again for the party statements, they said they told us what we needed to know, and they couldn't officially give us these things to look at because it's a police investigation, and they're not allowed to share things of that nature. Catherine says she's been let down by Avon and Somerset Police, leading to her hiring a private investigator. She told Mail Online that police officers were finally searching an area around halfway back to their home early this week after private specialist dogs had become agitated in an area of interest. Catherine claimed she had to wait a week for Avon and Somerset to consider the report before they agreed to follow up and carry out searches on Thursday, which I'm not sure exactly when that was. Yeah. What's this? Is this somebody retracing his steps?
Sentirte seguro es perderte sin ponerte límites. Es elegir cómo moverte confiando en tu coche, sabiendo que siempre.
Oh yeah, we did watch this on another video that I did, but I don't think it'll do any harm just to watch it again. Somebody went out there and retraced his steps, obviously in the daytime. I've just turned the sound down because sometimes music can set off the copyright thing. So he went up there on the bridge and crossed over. Yeah. Hey, Jack, where are you? Where are you? As I say, he's not been beamed up into the Starship Enterprise. He's somewhere. This boy is somewhere. Okay. So there's not much else to tell you. So I just wanted to do, another video about Jack just to keep him fresh in people's minds. Sorry, David, you've arrived just as I'm finishing. And yeah, just hopefully some resolution for Catherine will come. Next week's a new week, isn't it? And hopefully maybe the phone data, once it's finally analysed properly, maybe the phone data will reveal something, hey? Let's hope so. So actually, I'm going to light the candle for Jack and for the family. that they get some answers, even if, you know, they're not the answers they want. Any answers, I think, at the moment would probably be better than none. You know, we don't want to be another year on and still not know any more about Jack, you know. So we want some resolution, don't we? Okay, so you all take care. Yes, thank you, Matthew. Some prayers for Jack and Jack's family. Thank you for watching. Thank you for caring about what happens what happened to Jack and what happens, how Catherine copes, etc. Thank you for caring. As long as we all care, sooner or later, hopefully, some answers will come for this family. So I'll see you really soon in the next video. And until then, may your God always go with you. I'm going to put on my little video. Bye. Take care. See you soon.